everyone, it's Jack and Andrew here on Tuesday morning with the wrestling news. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm doing good this fine Tuesday morning, thank you, Jack. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm still reeling from the love that your appearance on the podcast got. Bloody hell.
Oh, everyone was so nice, but it's down to, I keep saying this, but it was down to you and Matthew just like easing me in, being super friendly. I had a blast. I honestly had a blast. It was so fun.
He's just such a great bloke because only a nice person would even suggest that. But no, Andrew, it was all down to you. If you haven't checked out the podcast last week, Andrew was, of course, the special guest, but Ross will be back on very, very soon. He was just having a week off. But now, Andrew, it's time to talk about the wrestling news. So let's get into those bloody headlines. I've said bloody twice in this intro. I'm sorry for
Demonetized.
the aggression. Sorry for the aggression on a Tuesday morning. First of all, 2 top Raw superstars have been removed from the Elimination Chamber 2021 card. Next up, WWE have further tightened restrictions on the social media of their wrestlers. And finally, another celebrity has announced that they have decided to begin training for a WWE career. So first of all, Andrew, last night's Raw was a very, very eventful one. A couple of big changes to the Elimination Chamber card to talk about. First of all, Lacey Evans. What's the story there?
So, it seems as though Lacey Evans, in IRL, Jack, is actually pregnant.
Right, and the reason you specify IRL is because in kayfabe she's also pregnant. She said that last night. And my initial reaction upon hearing that was, oh, this is just part of a storyline to get in Charlotte's head. But no, since then, as you say, according to various different news sources, Wrestling Inc., PW Insider, The Observer, they've all suggested that, yeah, Lacey Evans actually is pregnant in real life. So first of all, I mean, congratulations to her, of course. Secondly, I mean, they're acting as if the dad's Ric Flair on Raw.
Did you see him, Jack? He was doing all this. He was going, call me daddy, woo!
Yeah.
All this. It was pretty weird, but I was down for it. It was good.
He was saying that, wasn't he? He was doing and saying those things. And I found it personally quite distressing. So I've got to say, Charlotte held it together quite well, considering. But yes, this happened after a match, basically, which didn't happen because it involved Lacey Evans, and before she could take any sort of physical attack, she just walked out of the match and went, no, you're not harming me because I am pregnant. So it was Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Now, I'm a bit confused what happens now, because clearly, and I don't think I'm kind of oversimplifying it here to say that the plan was surely for it to be Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans for the title at WrestleMania, probably. I think that's where it was going. I don't know what happens now unless like all this news makes Charlotte snap and she turns on Asuka or something. I don't know, perhaps, but I can imagine this is a little bit of a bump in the road for WWE, because I imagine that is where they were going to go with Lacey Evans taking the belt from Asuka at Elimination Chamber. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, I'm now wondering if Asuka's going to have a different opponent. Are they going to just hotshot the belt straight away onto someone else? Are they going to make it like a multi-women match at WrestleMania? I really don't know. There's various different possibilities they could execute here, really. But Andrew, it's not the only change to the Elimination Chamber card. This one, more of an entirely kayfabe sort of thing. There's no real-life pregnancies or illnesses or anything that have caused the change of this match. But Miz is no longer in the Elimination Chamber. Andrew, who has he been replaced by?
Oh, he's been replaced by our good friend, apparently. I'm saying that now on the record. Our good friend, Mr. Kofi Kingston. He is now in the Elimination Chamber.
I don't know if I know I haven't met Kofi Kingston, but I don't know if any of us have. Adam has. Adam's met all of the New Day at once.
Good friend then. I wasn't just making
lying.
that up.
Yeah.
Best mates.
Yes, Kofi Kingston is in the match because The Miz withdrew and was talking to Adam Pearce and basically was saying he wants his boy John Morrison in there. I'm guessing so he can have better execution when he decides to cash in the Money in the Bank contract, which he's been promising to do for a long time now, and did actually do one time, and then they gave him it back anyway. So I don't really. But then basically he had to wrestle Kofi Kingston because Adam Pearce went, well, it's not exactly fair. How about if you win, Morrison goes into the chamber. If Kofi wins, he goes into the chamber, and Kofi Kingston won. So that's interesting. I don't think that Kofi will really have much of a bearing on the match, sadly. You know, it 2 years ago, yeah, but what can you see happening here?
I mean, I guess the obvious thing is for us to think now, Miz is maybe gonna cash in straight after the match. Like, he's fresh as a daisy. He's not in there. It was a ploy all along. He's got us, Jack. He got us. He wanted to get out. It was all fine. And then he comes in and perhaps I don't see him having a successful cash in. Do you, Jack? If he did do it, I don't see him having a successful one, I think. But then does it happen again where he's like, oh no, there you go, have it back for another time instead? Like, I'm not really sure.
I feel like if there was ever, because I agree with you, I don't see a successful cash in, but I think if there was ever a time for him to try to cash in and for it not to work, after Elimination Chamber is perhaps where it'd be most effective if Drew still had the belt at the end of it, because then Drew survives the cash in and looks even more strong heading into WrestleMania. I think that might be their best bet. So I think you might be onto something there. But that's not the only news coming out of WWE this fine Tuesday. Now we're stepping into the real world, the out of the ring world. And according to Wrestling Inc., talent is no longer allowed to post anything on social media that names a third-party business, a third-party person, a brand, or a charity. It's basically the story of WWE continuing to kind of clamp down on what their employees say and do on social media, but they're not employees; they're independent contractors. So it causes a lot of anger, really, doesn't it?
It does. It's not. I really reading this, it got me pretty angry because I was like, it's not nice, is it? They don't have all the benefits of a full-time employer, and then they're taking even more away from the people that are working for them. Like it's horrible. It echoes like all the Twitch stuff as well. It's not nice. It's not nice at all.
Apparently, talent will be given a warning and then a fine and then a suspension for the third violation. And basically, it's WWE trying to claim ownership of their talent's social media accounts via a clause in their contracts that allows them exclusive rights over their likeness. But again, nobody follows, I can't think of anybody in particular, but nobody follows Andrade's Twitter account purely thinking, I'm following the character of Andrade on social media here. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a bit silly. It
is a bit silly. And I think people enjoy like the stuff where it's not in kayfabe, like the real life stuff as well. It gives people more stock, and it makes people more invested, I think, in those characters too. So it doesn't feel right, especially like the charity thing as well, because a lot of these wrestlers do amazing things for charities too, and that just makes WWE just look horrible, in my opinion.
It does, or it would, but I understand because WWE are notoriously not doing so well at the moment financially, and they need all the help they can get. I'm joking. They're absolutely raking it. Oh God, I know. Also, though, let's have some happier news slightly, because obviously Braun Strowman was back on Raw last night, and he'd been, am I right in saying he'd been ill for a little while? Yeah,
so I think he'd got a blood infection, and he was off TV for a little bit. He was saying that he lost a lot of weight.
Right.
And he's come back, and he's looking in fine shape yet again, Jack. He's looking good.
Yeah, obviously he'd been off for a little while before the Royal Rumble, and then he came back at the Rumble. And then this infection, as you say, kept him off screens again. But he's back, and as you've also mentioned, he was looking great. He appeared in a backstage segment with Adam Pearce demanding to be part of the Elimination Chamber match. He hasn't been added to the Elimination Chamber match, but there's still SmackDown, I suppose. And
do you reckon it's going to be a December to Dismember thing, Jack? Do you reckon either Kofi or Jeff or someone's going to get taken out backstage at the pay-per-view, and then Braun's going to be like, I'm going in, and then he gets in there?
Let's have a think, because I think you might be right, but I don't think could that be Jeff? It could be Jeff, but they want Jeff to jump off the pod, surely, and so do you.
I do, unless Braun Strowman wants to do it instead, which I'm all down for as well.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. It can't be Sheamus, he's too crucial a part of the storyline. Could it be Randall, potentially?
Yeah, could it be... especially with like the stuff that happened with Alexa Bliss last night as well. I can see that. Yeah,
I can see him, because all I could have in my head there for a second was Braun beating up somebody, but no, he could be trapped in the Shadow Realm by Bray Wyatt or whatever, and then they could be like, right, well, who's going in now? Braun, get yourself in there, pal.
Get in there, I can see
him. So Braun still in the conversation, despite there being no free spaces in the chamber. It's a bit of an interesting situation, and also, now I heard you talking with Owen before we came on the air here on video, discussing if you know who Bow Wow is, and I'm horrified to report that neither of you knew who Bow Wow was.
We're just not down with the kids, Jack. You were singing some basketball song. It sounded good. Do you want to wrap it now? Go on, Jack. Give us a rendition.
Well, basketball is his favourite sport. He likes the way they dribble up and down the court. I could easily go on, and no. I was on the edge of the cliff there, and I forced my way back. Bow Wow, a bit of a cultural phenomenon, actually, Andrew. I mean, he's very 2000s, like very 2000s. He was in the Like Mike films. He was in the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
That's my least favourite one. Don't like that one.
Anyway, his character's the one, like the sidekick, the short guy with the car with the Incredible Hulk themed car.
Yeah.
Anyway, he wants to be a wrestler, so he tweeted saying, "I've officially decided to train with my boy at the Real Rikishi at his gym in California to get ready for the WWE. Locked in."
That's cool.
Now, WWE, I'm worried that WWE are typically so behind the times that Bow Wow won't have yet entered their consciousness yet. They won't know who he is. But no, I think that if they deem him to be still relevant, and I assume in America he's still a massive name, then they'll get him on. But at the minute, they have been quite cutting edge with Bad Bunny, so I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna say that with like the maybe Cardi B getting involved as well. It seems as though they're like bringing all these people in. I mean, we've heard that Bad Bunny sales, like sales of merch and stuff, have just shot through the roof for them. So I imagine like just their idea is just let's bring as many people as we can in. Let's get Raw Underground going again. Let's do an underground rap battle thing. That sounds like a good idea.
It's also worth mentioning that Bad Bunny actually won the 24/7 championship last night as well, which I've lost track of. I thought it was still on Rosenberg. Suddenly, Tozawa won it from R-Truth, and then Bad Bunny pinned Tozawa. I don't really know. As you were just talking there, I was googling the age of Bad Bunny, Bow Wow,
Big Bow,
to make sure that he was still young enough. He's 33, so you know, there's certainly been older celebrities to get involved in wrestling. But as I was typing, you were saying something, and you know when you hear something and then you type the thing you've heard, not the thing that you want to type. So I looked down at what I'd searched for, and it was bow there. Bow there.
Bow there, lad. Bow there.
Exactly, yeah, it sounded very northern, didn't it? Oh, bow there. There he is. Andrew, I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for accompanying me on this journey.
Thank you for having me. It's been what a way to kick off a Tuesday morning, Jack. I got me coffee, I've got me Jack, and I've got Owen's in background overseeing all of this. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
But then I'm off because I've got to write my weekly feature for the website, which comes out every Wednesday on Cultaholic.com. Andrew, what exciting things have you got in the pipeline?
In the pipeline, it's usually just the Monday fun days on Twitch on Monday.
We've missed everybody.
It's gone.
If you're not aware of Andrew's weekly Monday streams, what can we expect from you on there?
So we've started doing Lego and video games together. We've been playing Hitman. I kicked a guy in nuts yesterday. It was fantastic.
Aren't you meant to be very sneaky and subtle on Hitman?
No, we're going the complete opposite. 'em up.
It's like Dynasty Warriors. You just plow through the crowds of people.
That's what it's called, Hitman. It's like hit, man, just hit the man, and then run. That's what it's all about.
Andrew, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. We've been Jack and Andrew from Cultaholic.com. Stay safe out there, stay positive, and we'll see you very soon.